Hello everyone, you're probably wondering where I've been. Actually, if you're a long-time watcher, you're probably used to these sort of hiatuses. But apparently YouTube isn't. Turns out, if you don't post at least one video in a 6-month period, you can lose monetization. Which I unfortunately have at this point. Oops. Oh well, that's life I guess. Either way, I figured you all deserved an update, so I thought I'd try something new by throwing together an unboxing video to show off a giant order of guitar controllers I just got. Yeah, I'm still working on the Guitar Hero and Rock Band retrospective. I knew going in it was going to be a long project, and I still have a lot more to go on it, but this really helped to shore up my collection for said video. For that project, I don't just want to cover the games and the history, I also wanted to cover the hardware. So I've been slowly trying to collect almost all of the official guitars, and a few oddities as well, one of which will appear later in this video. Anyway, while I struggle to open the box in the background, I can talk about my struggles in real life briefly. I've found it difficult to find time to work on my channel, despite really wanting to. I've had 3 major things getting in the way. The first has been the most direct interruption. Back in April, I injured my right arm and shoulder, and I still haven't recovered from that. The pain comes and goes, at times so bad I can barely move the arm, other times it'll be perfectly functional with only an occasional twinge of pain. Unfortunately for me, the pain tends to get worse when I have my arm in a typing or gaming position. And of course it's my dominant arm, so I haven't gotten to really enjoy Guitar Hero or many games really, like I wish I could. Anyway, several doctor's visits later and it's finally been decided that I need physical therapy, which there wasn't an opening for until the end of this month. Looking forward to starting that soon and hoping for a quick recovery. The second thing that's impacted my ability to work on my videos is a close family member's health. For almost a year now, they've been dealing with several complicated and at this point still unknown health issues. They spent the last year being pushed from specialist to specialist, most of which have simply shrugged their shoulders and said, I don't know, and sent them on their way. There have been x-rays, blood tests, ultrasounds, biopsies, and so far we've got nothing. This has impacted their way of life severely, and by extension my own. To say it's been stressful would be an obvious understatement. I don't want to complain personally about it too much. I know that they're suffering much more than I am, but my priorities have certainly shifted with all of this going on. The third and final thing is actually more positive, thankfully, though it didn't start that way. I have an adopted new kitten. His mother decided to raise her litter on our back porch, and we're content to let them stay there peacefully until we noticed 2 of the cats had their eyes swollen shut with infection. One of them was unable to see at all and wasn't moving or eating. My partner and I had to step in, and after some expensive vet visits we were able to find them both homes. One actually taken home by a vet tech, and the other now home with us. He's a cute little guy, but an absolute menace. He's still getting his vaccinations and is not yet fixed, so we have to keep him quarantined still, and it's just a whole thing. Point is, initially nursing him back to health and now trying to keep him from going absolutely stir-crazy is eating up a lot of my time. But you can all give a happy hello to Vector, the newest member of the family. That's right, Vector and Pixel are the names of my cats. I'm a nerd. So the question now is, what is coming when in terms of my videos? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really sure. I'd still love to have Final Fantasy VI out by the end of the year. I know for a fact this Guitar Hero and Rock Band retrospective isn't coming this year, and it'll probably be well into next year before I can even give a decent estimate. But as I already said, I expected this. Honestly, I'm having more fun with this project than I think I've ever had on this channel, but my body had other plans for me. That and I've had to pace myself on guitar controller purchases. I've already put a few $1,000s into this project, and I still have more controllers I need to get. I have to pace out those purchases. They're usually about $150 per paycheck. I'll be brutally honest, I'm getting really sick of announcing projects and then not having them come out. It's disappointing for you all, but it's demotivating and humiliating for me. I don't know what to do about it. I can't really drum up hype for things if no one knows they're coming, but every time I miss a deadline or a project gets put off to the side, it's a huge stumbling block for me. I'm trying to be forgiving with myself. Realistically, artists of all types scrap projects all the time. Painters do it, songwriters do it, but a lot of people put a week into each art piece, not months. At least as far as I know based upon the workflow of my artist friends. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not trying to diminish anyone's workload. What I do want to say though is that when I don't put a video out, that is months of my life gone to waste, and it's near impossible for that not to lead to a negative work and thought spiral. Anyway, sorry I got a bit dark and venty there, but that's sort of my life update. Hope you all are doing well. I'm still not dead, obviously. Physical therapy will hopefully help me recover quickly. Soon Vector will get his last shots done and will be finally free to roam the land, and I've just sort of gotta remain optimistic about my family's health. That's enough about all that. Let's get into the fun stuff and take another look at these guitars. The first one I opened is this Mayflash wireless PlayStation 2 guitar, which was actually made in partnership with Red Octane themselves. I'm not sure a lot of people know that. I've always had pretty bad luck with Mayflash products. In my experience, they're cheaply made, so my expectations aren't high. But it is technically a Red Octane guitar, so I've got to give it a look. Next up, I actually got two of the PlayStation 2 wireless Kramer guitars. Neither had the dongle, so I need to get one of those separately to test these things out. From what I understand, wireless guitars on the PlayStation 2 tend to not work very well in general because of latency, but these guitars are really popular with modders, and since I've been dabbling in that myself on this project, I figured, hey, why not? Keep one stock, assuming either of them work, and mod up the other one in the future. Speaking of modded guitars, figured I'd throw this pick in there just because I wanted to brag and show off the handiwork of my first custom Les Paul. This baby's got mechanical frets now, a Rock Band whammy bar because I prefer the length and feel, new start, select, and strum bar, all 3D printed. It's actually RGB modded, those frets light up. And you may all have noticed the custom star power button I have not so beautifully taped to the faceplate. Look, it's about function, not form. It's positioned to be easy to reach with my middle finger while strumming, so I don't miss out on notes when trying to activate star power. This guitar has been my go-to while I get good enough to beat these games on Expert, a task I'm only about halfway through at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, I played all the Guitar Hero games by this point, but I'm often stuck towards the end of the set list when Expert just becomes ridiculously difficult. Anyway, back to the actual new guitars from this unboxing with a stock Les Paul. This one, the Guitar Hero Aerosmith variant. These faceplates are actually designed to be interchangeable, so there's absolutely nothing special about this guitar besides the decoration. Because of that, I don't have a lot to say about this controller in specific. What may be surprising is I actually do have quite a lot to say about Aerosmith and their history in gaming in the video proper, including the fact that they starred in the video game Quest for Fame, one of the first rhythm games of all time. It even beat Parappa the Rapper to market. And it is the first video game to have a guitar controller peripheral. That's right, it wasn't Guitar Freaks. Anyway, Guitar Hero Aerosmith is one of the weakest games in the franchise, but it was one of the most fun to research, so I'm actually quite excited about that one. Now moving on to the PlayStation 2 SG Controller. This was a happy surprise because this is actually a special edition version of the controller. It's hard to see in the video and in the photo, but it's not the standard Guitar Hero 1 black and white controller. It's actually black and silver. I believe this only came with a Guitar Hero 3 and Guitar Hero Aerosmith double pack back in the day, but I will double check that before I put out the video proper. This means I still need to purchase a standard Guitar Hero 1 controller, but I just love the silver coloring, so I'm very excited to have this in my collection. The next one, oh boy, this is what sparked this entire purchase, believe it or not. The Topways Magical Guitar Double Shot Controller. Now, this isn't actually a Guitar Hero controller, it's a Guitar Freaks controller, which is a series of Konami guitar games that predated Guitar Hero for those that don't know. This is a cheap third-party controller that has a lot of historical significance. It's actually the basis for a lawsuit against Red Octane for copying their controller design. There's actually a substantial amount of evidence for this, and researching it has just been absolutely fascinating. The Guitar Hero franchise is chock full of lawsuits. You put video games and record labels together, two of the most litigious groups in existence, and it's not really surprising. But researching and writing about the number of lawsuits is actually some of the most fun I've had working on this project. So I just had to own one of these, despite it being, quite frankly, a shitty guitar. I searched for 9 months before I could get my hands on one. Thanks again, Doggo, you really came through for me. Well, after that, I unboxed a standard Rock Band 2 guitar, wireless variant for the Xbox 360. Really nothing special about this at all, but having another on hand is a good thing. Maybe mod this one or my old one up, whichever seems to be in worse playing shape. And finally, we have the real crown jewel of this box, the Beatles Rock Band Rickenbacker guitar. This thing is gorgeous. A little bit more beat up than I'd like, but it was a hell of a deal. I still need to get my hands on the other two Beatles guitar controllers, the Hofner bass and the beautiful Gretsch. I actually wasn't going to get these at all. I'm trying to get one of every controller that is functionally different to review for my video, but the internals on the Beatle controllers are basically the same as normal Rock Band stock from what I understand. But now that I've found this one, it just feels wrong to not complete the collection. So this was just my most recent and by far largest order. I think I'm up to 18 guitars now. I'd have to recount. I've got some crazy other things to show off in my main video that's not here, such as this Rock Band 3 Pro guitar, where every single fret is a button and it has plastic pluckable strings. This thing is absolutely ridiculous and I love it. Love it in concept, that is. I hate playing with it. Then there's this monstrosity. Guitar Praise, a PC Guitar Hero clone where all the songs are mid-2000s Christian rock. Yeah, this project has grown in scope a little. I figured to do a proper retrospective, I needed to also talk about some of the ripoffs at the time, and this is one of the more curious things I've found. Admittedly, I still haven't tried installing it and playing it. I really hope I can get it to run on my PC. And that's basically all I have to say for now. There you have it, my update and guitar unboxing video. I hope you enjoyed. Obviously not my usual style by any means, but I had fun whipping this one up. And let me practice with some live action stuff, set up my lighting and backdrop, and just give some hints at what I've been working on. It was also easier to edit than most of my content, which is good because lifting my arm to edit literally hurts right now. It's pretty fucking annoying. Anyway, I'd like to of course thank you all for watching, for being subscribed and sharing my content, and I'd like to especially thank my patrons and their amazing patience. With that, I hope you're all doing well, and I hope to hear from you soon. See you all later.